My dear friend in Christ, I sincerely hope you did not miss the first part of this reflection on the temptations of Jesus. If you missed it, please look up the link in this channel. I suggest you listen to it before you hear this reflection. My dear friend in Christ, the three temptations of Jesus are found very, very clearly in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 1 to 11, and in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 4, verse 1 to 13. I earnestly recommend that you read these passages very prayerfully. Now let's look at the three temptations of Jesus. These temptations reflect exactly what almost anyone, anywhere in the world experience, face, or struggle with. And my dear friend in Christ, maybe you are one of them. First, when the devil asks Jesus to change stones to bread, please look at Luke chapter 4, verse 2 and 3. It was at the end of the 40 days of fasting, and Jesus was hungry, definitely exhausted. And wicked Satan hits at a very weak point. Jesus is hungry. Wicked Satan always and always comes to tempt us at our weakest point. Yes, my dear friend in Christ, wicked Satan always comes to tempt us at our weakest point. And sometimes that temptation comes to us when we are trying to get closer and closer to God, because the Satan does not want you to get close to God. In simple language, this hunger is called craving, or you can even call it greed. Don't we have cravings and greed for food, for drink, for sexual pleasures, for money and wealth, for exotic lifestyles? Whatever be these things, we have an urge for. If it draws us always away from God, if it blocks our spiritual growth and hampers our good relationships, they are from the devil, from wicked Satan. Watch carefully that you don't give in. My dear friend in Christ, in the second temptation in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 4 verse 5 and 6, that's Matthew chapter 4 verse 5 and 6, the devil leads Jesus to Jerusalem, to the parapet of the temple, and asks him to throw himself down from there. Please read the passage. Let's think about our own lives. Don't we sometimes forget our human condition? Forget our weaknesses, forget our shortcomings? Satan can use people also to make us feel that we are superhuman, that we are powerful, that we are influential, that we are great. That's how Satan works. Now here's the temptation. Are you inflated with pride over your social status, your economic status, your experience, your power, your position, or the office you hold? Or even do you fake being powerful and influential? Have you given in? Look at Jesus' response in the Gospel. Make it your response also. My dear friend in Christ, now take a look at the third temptation, the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 8 and 9. The devil takes Jesus to a high mountain and shows him all the kingdoms of the world in all its magnificence, promising him power, promising him glory, promising him influence. Let's think about ourselves. Are you with all the glamour around you in the media, on the TV, on the big screen, or wherever? Are you carried away with a growing desire for power, for control, for domination, for fame, for popularity? Are you trying to play big boss? We are so often tempted, my dear friend in Christ, to say things like, I am in charge, I am the boss, I speak and you listen, I command, I order, or I earn more than you, or I come from a better family. Now even if you never said these things, your attitude and your behavior will reveal it. Otherwise, why do husbands ill-treat their wives? Why do wives try to control or dominate their husbands? Why do parents verbally or physically abuse their children or doubt them? Why are even children abused by elders? Why do bosses in workplaces or institutions throw their weight around their subordinates? Why do children or youth in their peer groups dominate each other? The examples can be many more. But are you one of them who dominates, who controls, who throws your weight around others, who exerts your influence? Now that's the third temptation. And look at how Jesus responded to the devil. Make that your response. Please look up the gospel. My dear friend in Christ, as I conclude this reflection, I like to tell you, just don't be discouraged if you feel your spiritual life is not okay or your faith is sinking. The truth is, this is human experience. Yes, this is human experience. Even the saints of God, even the holy men and women went through such experiences. But please take a closer look at the 3 temptations you heard. Look up the Gospels and see where you may be weak. Work on the areas where you are weakest. Seek help from a spiritual guide. Spend more time, more quality time, not your free time, your quality time in prayer and alone, praying alone. Yes, my friend in Christ, pray alone. And you will hear God speak to you. You will hear God direct you for your life. Above all, my dear friend in Christ, read the passages of the temptation of Jesus slowly and over and over and over again and see how it applies to you. If you were in the place of Jesus, how will you respond? Will you respond like Jesus? Remember, the devil doesn't come with horns and a big tail. Yes, the devil does not come with big horns and a tail as you might have seen in movies or in pictures or in photographs or paintings. He comes even through people, through places and through situations. That's the way the devil works. The clearest sign, remember this my dear friend in Christ, the clearest sign of victory over Satan is when you get a feeling of inner peace and courage to say no. Yes, to say no to people, to places and to situations that can harm your spiritual growth. Please do pass on this reflection with someone as you also journey closer to God. May you have a good and godly day.